Welcome to The Wrap. I'm Caroline Woods, here to take you through today's market action. Temporary tariff cuts between the U.S. and China ignited a huge market rally on Monday. The Nasdaq soared 4%, the S&P 500 and Russell each tacked on more than 3%. The Dow added 2.8%. Every sector except utilities closed in the green. Consumer discretionary was the top performing sector, adding 5.7%, while tech added just under 5%, with every Mag 7 name in positive territory. Taking a look at today's market-moving trade news, the U.S. will temporarily reduce tariffs on China to 30%, with a baseline 10% tariff plus a 20% fentanyl-related charge. And China agreed to lower reciprocal tariffs on the U.S. to 10%. In a press conference, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent stated neither side wants a decoupling. It's the first significant sign of the trade war cooling between the globe's two largest economies. The 90-day pause begins this Wednesday. On the heels of that announcement, chip stocks surged. The Philadelphia Semiconductor Index jumped to levels it hasn't seen since early March. Nvidia was a bright spot with its 5.5% gains, while AMD, Micron, and Broadcom all rallied as much as 7.5%. Wedbush's Dan Ives said the tariff news was the best-case scenario for stocks and says new highs for the market and tech stocks are now on the table in 2025. Amazon led the consumer discretionary sector higher with its 8% rally. According to Raymond James estimates, the e-commerce giant sources about 30% of its goods from China, and Chinese advertisers spent close to $8 billion on ads in 2024. The firm has an outperform rating on Amazon with a $195 price target. Meanwhile, Apple is reportedly considering raising prices for its fall iPhone lineup, but doesn't want to attribute the increase to tariffs. That's according to the Wall Street Journal. Apple said earlier this month that tariffs were expected to add about $900 million in costs during the April to June quarter, and that it would source a majority of the iPhones sold in the U.S. from India. Meanwhile, earlier today, President Trump said CEO Tim Cook vowed to boost Apple's investments in the U.S. Taking a look at what's on tap for tomorrow, pre-market earnings include JD.com, Under Armour, and On Holding. After hours, we'll get the latest quarterly results from Oklo. And in terms of economic data, keep an eye out for tomorrow morning's CPI print. That'll do it for The Wrap. I'm Caroline Woods. Remember to tune in 24/7 to schwabnetwork.com.